Monbasa, Mvita, paranormal, spiritual robbery, and physical robbery. I want to talk about this thing that had been kept secret over the millennia. It was happening and nobody knew anything about it. It has to do with the stealing of the people, of the spirit, of their property, all in one. So they not only steal your property, they steal you, they steal your spirit, and then once they are through with that, they take over the property. Yesterday, we talked about a village that ruled the world, and it had the Etruscans. Etruscans, I told you, were bloodthirsty people. They would have blood spots. In fact, that's why when Rome became the village that ruled the world, they had games, and games were very bloody. But apart from those bloody games, there were cults. Cults of the Etruscans. Cults of the other people who had been those other sides that time. And they specialized in one thing, which we never learned. That certain families, which, because God appoints certain things at certain times, could be gifted financially, could be gifted in business, could be gifted in meteorology, could be gifted in sailing. There were some families that were very gifted. And these cults, what they started was they would steal the people. They pick a person from the family. Sometimes they would sacrifice the person. Sometimes they would bury the person alive. When you are buried alive, your spirit is imprisoned. It can't advance to the next world, and it has left this world. So it is caught between the two worlds. I think you've heard of tortured spirits. Spirits that you would scream and scream and scream because they had been imprisoned. And these people would be able to manipulate these spirits in witchcraft, in many other things, to do their biddings for them. That's why you will find spirits sometimes would steal money for people. Spirits would strangle people to death. Spirits would do many things. Spirits would be sent to haunt people. Those are spirits that had been captured, imprisoned. There was a time I heard of a leader in the Middle East of a radical group that had buried a human being alive. And then I was wondering, why did they have to bury a human being alive? As I was touching here and there, I realized this is an old art of imprisoning the spirit, not leaving the body to where the spirits go, and not returning in the body. So it is left in limbo. And when it's in limbo, it is manipulated by those who have it. So those cults started that. They would pick people who had abilities, talents, gifts, because people are gifted differently. And people with property. Then they would pick one of the people, steal him secretly, sacrifice that person, and then say, now you have a pact with them. You are a living dead. And now when you are a living dead, they are entitled to the spirits of the people in your family. They are entitled to the bodies of the people in your family. They are entitled to the property of your family. So what they would do, they would profile a whole family and then kill secretly. By the end of it all, they have stolen the bodies of that family. They have stolen the spirits of that family, and the property has nobody. They have killed everybody. So there is nobody to inherit the property, and they inherit the property. It was a practice that they kept underground. Later they started sharing. They would abduct several families silently. They would threaten. You know, I wondered when I started being chased by vehicles and whatever and all that, until when this side I was told, if ritualistic killers are chasing you, you have to shout and do all that because they are bad people. I didn't know what happens. That's when I was looking through those things. I wanted to find something about Vatican, and I found something, and it was withdrawn yesterday from Facebook. When I find different things, but it's a similar thing to what I'm talking about. So those bodies, some of them would be kept underground, in some caves, in some caverns, and once you are put in that cavern, they will feel spiritually. They are entitled to every member of that lineage. And so the members of those lineage will be killed through accidents, through witchcraft, physically, and most of them, if they would be captured, they will be buried in that state, alive, so that the spirit does not live to the next world. So they had captured spirits to use for their own things, and they had captured bodies, and then the last thing they had was all the property. There were several cults. They have still been going on up to now. They were secret, but of late, when they realized they were doing things without much, they became a bit careless, and that's why people have started noticing such things. It's a thing that has gone within religions. It's a thing that has gone within cultures, within professions. So people disappear, and people start dying mysteriously in a family. You find 3 people have gotten in an accident, another one dies the following, and they go like that, until almost a whole family or a whole family is wiped out. And when they are thinking that they are through with that family, they start on other members of the family. And once all these people are dead, they have their spirits, they have their bodies, and they have their property. And some people now professionalized in that, they would enroll people as members of the cult and then follow up, clearing silently like that. So people disappear and property is left. So they occupy the property. Sometimes the property, the things that those people had in houses and whatever would be shared. So you would go to certain areas and you will find there were properties being shared. And you wonder why. Things are just shared, people disappeared. When you ask, you are told they moved to other places, but they cannot be traced. That is that old culture in those secret cults that has been going on. And there are some cults that have become rich because of that. They eliminate, if they deal with the rich people, first they have the talents, they are able to use the talents, because when you are talented in one field, that talent can be changed to something else. You can be a great musician, and if that talent is stolen, it can be given to another musician, or it can be converted into being a great businessman or another thing. So those talents are converted to benefit them. The spirits are imprisoned for their use. I think that is where sometimes the Bible refers of the witches and the wizards in Egypt having bewitched the Israelites. They could not move in that place, from that place doing that work. But here now, it is bewitching of the spirits. I remember when I moved from where I was moving to another place, there was a place I lived, and that was the time I was still under torture. There was a time when zombies came. They could talk, but people, even the people surrounding areas, knew that zombies had come. But for somebody from within, you could not be able to tell anything. Right now, people utilize the spirits in that form. They utilize it in people to make them act like zombies. But this world, the way I say it, is not the way you see it. Everybody pretends they don't even know what that thing happens. So those things have been happening in many places, in many situations. And those people who keep that such a secret things end up advancing in many, many ways. Those were the cults that were started by the Etruscans, and they have moved in secret cults, undercover cults. So why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this so that when people enter religions, or you are invited to cults or places of worship, beware, because there are other places, once you get in, you never get out. And once they profile you, they'll profile the whole family, and you will go silently without anybody knowing, and the property is left with nobody. So these people share their spoils and look for other victims. And sometimes they have multiple victims. So they are transacting, killing through witchcraft, physically, whatever, burying some alive, torturing others so that the spirit is tortured, it does not go, feeding on others secretly, so that they maintain all those things. So, in the present world, wherever you live, be cautious of who the next person to you is, because not everybody who looks like a friend is a friend. Not every cult or religion you see around may be the right religion for you. It may put you into enslavement, because this is something that has gone for several thousand years, and it has been through these experiences that I have had, and through finding out what has been happening, that I have realized these are old Etruscan traditions and other surrounding places, and they are going on in witchcraft societies, in magic societies, and in other societies. These people get enlightened because they are able to amass knowledge from different people. They are able to access a lot of information. So they are fast in their thinking, in many of the things they do. They are ahead of our times. They know many things because they get all those knowledges. They are also able to get spiritual knowledge from spirits, which are able to gather it from other places, the places of the spirits. That's why you had, is it the Quran? The Quran says that the genies are able to peep and see what is happening in the heavens. The spirits are also able to get that. They are able to get what's going to happen in the future. They are able to get new technology, future technology, because understanding the spirit realms, there's no past, there's no present. They may get something that will come 2,000 years to come, and you are able to be given that particular time. And it becomes a technology that one cannot comprehend because it's ahead of its time. So those people enlightened in that manner have been using or misusing other human beings in that manner secretly. Beware. That is my take for now.